Do not dwell in suffering. Do not dwell in the suffering. That kind of sounds maybe like a no-brainer to some people. But if you are suffering, in your mental headspace, you must not dwell in this living space in your mind. Because it is by living in this mental space, this dwelling place, and you have your mental dwelling space a place of suffering, you're only going to bring more suffering about. In case you don't know, I do believe in the law of assumption, which is a term that was, I guess, invented or proposed by the Christian mystic by the name of Neville Goddard. He's definitely worth researching and looking into in your own spare time. And you will understand what I mean when I say do not dwell in your suffering if you understand Neville Goddard. Because when you believe, when you understand right off the bat that it is your attention that creates problems, it is your mental conversations that create your problems, it is your inner dialogue that creates your problems, you will see it's just a logical thing to not dwell in your suffering. It's actually almost a choice. When you're in the moment, when you're in this volcano of all these negative thoughts and woes and pains and suffering, I understand how that feels. But it's also a choice. When I tell you that this is a choice, you can literally choose not to be like that. It's like violence. Violence is a choice a lot of the time. Most of the time it's a choice. And unless you have been to violence prevention or men's behavior change programs like I have, and I've attended those for like 2 years, that's what they say to you. Violence is a choice. I'm telling you, most truly I say to you, do not dwell in your suffering. That's a choice. If you're going to dwell in a place of suffering in your mind and your heart, you are choosing to be there in your mind and your heart. And as a result of you choosing to be there in your mind and your heart, you're going to bring about more of the same. Now, maybe that sounds easy on paper. And so this is where maybe the practice comes in. And so for the practice, I would say there are a few things that we need to do to get to this point of actually being in that state of not dwelling in, a place of suffering. Am I saying that you're supposed to be happy and jolly about this? Not necessarily, but it might help. Because the Bible does say, give joy for ashes, turn summer into winter. If you go to my free course called The Map of Life, I explain that I lost train of thought there. There's something important that I've explained in that course. On the top of my head, I think it's something to do with your identity and your consciousness. You are a conscious entity occupying a human vessel. You are not your thoughts. Long story short, if you want to read more about that type of topic, you can read the book called The Untethering Soul. Also Neville Goddard and other people, there are other authors who have similar conclusions. But at another level, you are also kind of like your flesh, your identity. And you must not, here's number 2, you must not identify with your suffering. If you choose to identify with your suffering, you make it more real. You will dwell in this place, as we've stated. You will dwell in this place. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Your actions. Your actions reinforce your identity, but it's also your identity that reinforces your actions. So you can start with either choosing to take action, or you can change your identity, and both will affect each other. So you can take the action of pretending to be fine, or you could take the action of practicing to be okay. You can take the action of practicing to not dwell in your suffering. You can take the action of choosing to do anything else other than dwell in suffering. You can take the action of choosing not to identify with the suffering, which is actually extremely important. And at some point, the action itself integrates into the identity. So in relation to the identity level of who we are, you are what you eat. This is the biggest principle. You are what you eat. And I think I gave some examples in that course. So if you are doing a smart thing, therefore you are a smart person. If you are doing a dumb thing, therefore you are being, in that moment, a dumb person. And that's how that literally works. You are what you eat. And you are the sum total of your subconscious underlying beliefs. And knowing that if you are in a predicament where the relationship is at threats, southside, things don't go your way, bullshit, etc., it definitely comes from your underlying subconscious beliefs, the deep-rooted subconscious underlying beliefs. By the way, I'm going to repeat myself sometimes, and I'm going to say a bunch of synonyms because I need you to know with other coaches and stuff, they always have their own weird-ass terminology, and they use these weird-ass buzzwords and these weird-ass frameworks. And so I need you to know, a lot of the time, they're actually talking about the same kind of thing with different languages and different dialects and different terms. So I'm going to use different synonyms to help connect the dots, okay? Also, I do use the Sora Donald Goofy method to rub it into you. Sora, if you don't know Sora Donald Goofy, that's Kingdom Hearts. And the main character, or main characters, they always introduce themselves. I'm Sora, Donald, Goofy. They always say them over and over again. And it's important, if you can, take that away in your real life to remember things. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to repeat myself using the Sora Donald Goofy method. Because you know when you watch a movie, like an adult movie, and the characters barely even mention the name once or twice, and by the end of the movie, I don't even know who the character's name was. And same with that movie that just came out recently called Obsession. I really don't remember any of the characters' names, except maybe Bear, only because I looked him up. So keep that in mind. So you are what you eat, you are what you practice. If you practice not dwelling in your suffering, if you practice not identifying with your suffering and replacing that, even if it's something outlandish and like being joyful, which is actually not too bad actually, being grateful even, you will be that thing, especially over time. There are a bunch of principles I haven't really written down here, such as the principle of compound interest. So by the law of compound interest, you keep taking the incremental actions of practice, you will get better at the action itself and you will amplify your intrinsic inherent value. I think the word we're looking for here is competence. You will become more and more competent, very similar to how we drive a car. The more we practice, the more competent we become at the thing. This is also true for things like video games. And so by practicing the things that I'm telling you on this list and such, by practicing these things, you will get better at them. And the number one skill, by the way, that you definitely need to practice out of everything is the reinterpretation process. All right, back to do not. Number 3, do not villainize your partner. Most YouTube videos and most TikTok videos and probably Snapchat and Instagram these days too, and Facebook and others, maybe even Twitter probably. I don't use Twitter. The coaches and the young lasses and the young men are always villainizing the ex or the romantic interest or partner, or they collectivize them. All men cheat. All women aren't loyal. Blah, blah, blah. That's like keeping it surface level. Even if your romantic interest or your partner is giving you a hard time, they're treating you like shit, they betrayed you, etc., do not villainize them, because if you villainize them, they shall be as they appear to you. If you think they're a monster, so shall they be. Now, at first, this whole villainizing and stuff, it might not appear straight away, because right now, I would be suspect that they're only a villain to you now because that's how you were kind of like thinking about them over a period of time. All this stuff happens over a period of time. And now, out of the blue, they just appear to be actually a monster, actually a villain, actually treating like you're like shit. Because you had these subconscious, deep-rooted beliefs in you that you were painting a brush on them in your mind, and over time you made a painting, and holy shit, we've got a painting here. They're a villain, they're a monster. And you need to understand that we can reverse this by painting a completely new picture, but it's going to take one stroke at a time. And I need to let you know that even if we start taking action now, we start changing our behavior, our response sets the stage moving forward, they might not appear to be different. They might not appear to change. And the point I must reinforce to you is not to change them. Them appearing as they are is a byproduct of you. Them changing their response to you will be a byproduct of you changing you changing your behavior. And that's the real goal that no one tells you. So we're changing us, not them. They may, at their discretion, change as a response to us changing. It's not guaranteed, but what I can guarantee is that if you succeed in eventually changing yourself, they will have, at some point, no choice but to accept the change that you've created within yourself. Very similar to how if you are wearing a clown costume, no one can really deny that you're wearing a clown costume. Some people will have different interpretations about the clown costume that you're wearing. Some people will think it's really funny. Some people will think it's really scary. Some people will think you're just being an idiot. Some people will think it's funny and want to be your friend. And so our change behavior will act as a stimulus to our romantic interest. So don't be scared if they get freaked out and start complaining that you're changing. That's normal. That's normal if they start criticizing you. That's normal if they try to double down in saying, no, you're not like that. Don't be so weird. Don't be a creep. You know, when you're trying to change, when you're trying to be nice, etc., they're not going to buy it at first because you treated them like shit. Here's the thing. You are actually the one who treated them like shit. You think they're treating you like shit? It's actually you who's been treating them like shit, and you've been treating yourself like shit. This is why this whole thing has been a problem at all. So of course it's going to be like unnatural at first. And this is where we need to take radical accountability, by the way. You need to be radically accountable. Don't worry about their problems. Don't worry about their contribution. At a surface glance, look at it for what it is and just say, okay. Actually, that's the secret word, by the way. The secret word is okay. I'll get back to that later. Alrighty. Number 4, do not resort to violence, verbal abuse, or other hostile behavior. This one should hopefully be a no-brainer, but it also kind of isn't. Now, a lot of men do typically fall under this category. However, if you're a lass, you do resort to similar acts of violence, but they're far more subtle. I can't really describe what they are, but you would know what I'm talking about if you look it up on the internet. It's these very subtle behaviors. It's like these reframing, lacks of accountability. It's just these things. Direct violence, this is what men typically do. They resort to more direct violence, whereas women resort to indirect violence.